Barcelona is one of the most visited cities on Earth, and one of the most misunderstood by first-time visitors who underestimate how much it packs into a few square miles. Before you book anything, here is everything you actually need to know. We are covering entry requirements, getting around, the best neighborhoods to stay in, safety, real costs, the best time to visit, and the mistakes first-timers keep making. From Gaudi's dreamlike architecture to the medieval alleys of the Gothic Quarter and the beach's steps from downtown, Barcelona blends history, art, and Mediterranean coast in a way few cities can. Save this video before you start booking flights, because we are answering the questions people actually search before landing in Barcelona. Let us start with entry requirements. Barcelona is in Spain, which sits inside the Schengen area. So once you clear passport control in any Schengen country, you can move freely across most of Europe on the same trip. As of 2026, most visa-exempt travelers, including Americans, Canadians, and Australians, are required to hold an ETIAS travel authorization before flying to Spain, which is separate from a visa and applied for entirely online. The ETIAS application takes only minutes to complete and is usually approved within days, but apply well before your trip since delays do happen and it must be approved before you board your flight. Visa-exempt stays are generally capped at 90 days within any 180-day period across the whole Schengen zone, not just Spain. So track your days carefully if you are visiting multiple countries. Make sure your passport has at least 6 months of validity remaining beyond your planned departure date, a common Schengen requirement, and a frequent reason travelers get turned away at check-in. Nearly everyone flies into Barcelona El Prat Airport, which sits about a 20-minute drive southwest of the city center and connects to downtown by train, metro, bus, and taxi. The Aerobus is the fastest public option, running frequently between the airport and Plaza Catalunya in the heart of the city for a modest, flat fare, no reservation needed. The Metro and the R2 Nord commuter train also link the airport to the center for even less, though they involve more walking and a transfer, so weigh convenience against the small savings. A taxi or rideshare from the airport to the center runs a predictable metered fare with a fixed airport supplement, worth it if you are arriving late or hauling heavy luggage. Travel insurance is not mandatory for short tourist stays, but it is strongly recommended given the cost of medical care abroad, and some longer visa categories require proof of coverage. Always check the official entry requirements close to your travel date, since Schengen rules have shifted more than once in recent years and can change again before you fly. If you plan to rent a car for a day trip beyond the city, an international driving permit alongside your home license is recommended and required in some cases, costing little and taking only minutes to arrange before you leave. Border officers can occasionally ask for proof of onward travel and enough funds to cover your stay, so keep a return ticket and hotel confirmation handy even if no one ends up asking to see them. Now let us talk about getting around, because Barcelona is one of the easiest major cities in Europe to navigate without ever renting a car. The metro is clean, fast, and reaches almost every neighborhood a visitor cares about, running until midnight on weekdays and all night on Saturdays. Skip single tickets and buy a T-Casual, a 10-trip ticket that works across the metro, buses, and trams, and cuts your per-ride cost dramatically over a stay of a few days. Barcelona is also remarkably walkable, and the old center in particular is best explored on foot, since its medieval alleys are too narrow and winding for any vehicle anyway. The city's bike share and the growing network of protected bike lanes make cycling a genuine option, especially along the flat waterfront between Barceloneta and the Olympic port. Taxis are plentiful, metered, and reasonably priced by Western European standards, easily hailed on the street or booked through an app when the metro has closed for the night. Buses fill in the gaps the metro misses and offer far better views, and the same T-Casual ticket covers them, so there is no reason to pay per ride. For day trips beyond the city, the regional Rodalies and FGC trains depart from central stations like Sants and Plaza Catalunya, reaching Montserrat, Girona, and the coast in under 2 hours, Avoid renting a car for the city itself. Parking is scarce and expensive. Traffic is dense, and you will spend more time hunting for a space than actually driving anywhere useful. The hop-on, hop-off tourist bus can be worth it on a first day to get oriented, though the regular metro and your own 2 feet will serve you better for the rest of the trip. Download an offline map and the local transit app before you arrive, since knowing your metro line and exit in advance saves real time in a station with multiple confusing exits. If you are staying several days and plan to ride often, the Hola Barcelona travel card offers unlimited public transit for a set number of days, worth pricing against the T-Casual for your itinerary. Ride the metro and buses with your bag zipped and in front of you, since the same crowded cars that make getting around easy are also where the city's pickpockets do most of their work. Where you stay shapes your whole trip, so let us break down the neighborhoods. The eye example is the most popular base, a grid of elegant boulevards packed with gaudy landmarks, shops, and restaurants. The Gothic Quarter puts you in the medieval heart of the city, a maze of atmospheric stone alleys, hidden squares, and history at every turn, though it can get noisy at night. Elborn, just next door, offers the same medieval charm with a slightly more polished boutique feel. Home to the Picasso Museum and some of the city's best tapas bars. Barceloneta is the beachfront neighborhood, ideal if sand and seafood are your priority, with a lively fisherman's quarter atmosphere and the Mediterranean at your doorstep. Gracia feels like a village within the city, a bohemian local neighborhood of leafy plazas and independent shops that rewards travelers wanting a quieter, more authentic base. Pobl Sec, below Montjuic Hill, has become a favorite for its buzzing tapas street and lower prices. An easy walk from the center, but noticeably cheaper on accommodation. For a first trip, the Example or Elborn give you the best balance of central location, safety, and easy metro access without the peak season crowds of Las Ramblas. Families and travelers wanting calm often prefer the Upper Example or Gracia, where the pace slows down and the streets feel more residential in the evenings. Budget travelers will find better value away from the immediate Old Town, in Pobl Sec, Sant Antoni, or the upper reaches of the E-Example, all still a short metro ride from the sites. Avoid booking right on Las Ramblas itself. While central, it is the most touristy and pickpocket-prone strip in the city, and quieter streets just a block away offer better value and calm. Whatever you choose, staying near a metro stop matters more than the exact neighborhood, since Barcelona's compact layout means almost everywhere is a quick, cheap ride from everywhere else. Now let us talk safety, because Barcelona has one specific reputation you need to plan around. The city is very safe for violent crime, but it is genuinely one of Europe's pickpocketing capitals. Pickpockets concentrate on Las Ramblas, inside the metro, around the Sagrada Familia, and on the beach, working in teams and using distraction rather than force. So awareness is your best defense. Keep your phone and wallet in a front pocket or a zipped bag worn across your body, never in a back pocket or an open tote, and stay especially alert when boarding a crowded metro car. Common scams include fake petition signers, the shell game on the street, people offering to help at ticket machines, and staged distractions where one person bumps you while another lifts your bag. On the beach, never leave belongings unattended while you swim. Opportunistic theft of phones and bags off towels is one of the most common complaints from visitors in summer. Solo travelers, including women, generally report feeling safe in Barcelona, though standard precautions apply at night in quieter areas and around the nightlife districts. As in any major city, emergency services are reliable and easy to reach. The general emergency number is 112, which works across the entire European Union from any phone. Tap water is safe to drink throughout Barcelona, and asking for it at a restaurant, Agua del Grifo, saves you money over bottled water at every meal. Healthcare quality is excellent if something goes wrong. Pharmacies marked with a green cross can handle most minor issues, and staff are generally well-versed in English for tourist concerns. Keep digital and physical copies of your passport and cards separate from the originals, so a stolen wallet becomes an inconvenience rather than a trip-ending disaster. Overall, if you simply guard your valuables the way locals do, the vast majority of visitors leave Barcelona having experienced nothing worse than a very crowded metro platform. If your bag or phone does get taken, file a police report at a Mossos d'Esquadra station, since your travel insurance and any claim will require that documentation to reimburse you. Let us get practical about cost. Barcelona is more affordable than London or Paris, but it is one of the pricier cities in Spain, especially during the summer high season. Expect a mid-range hotel in a central neighborhood to run 120 to 250 euros a night in high season, with rates dropping noticeably in the winter months. A sit-down dinner for two in a good restaurant commonly runs 50 to 90 euros, though tapas bars and neighborhood spots can feed you extremely well for 15 to 25 euros a person. The famous Gaudi sites are not cheap. Entry to the Sagrada Familia, Park Guell, and Casa Batlló each carries a separate ticket, and together they can add up to a real line in your budget. A realistic budget for a week in Barcelona for two people, including a mid-range hotel, meals, metro travel, and the major attractions, lands somewhere around 1,800 to 3,000 euros. Budget travelers can cut costs sharply by eating the fixed-price lunch menu, the Menu del Dia, which offers multiple courses for a fraction of dinner prices at the same restaurants. Tipping culture keeps costs down since service is already included in restaurant prices. You are never expected to tip 20%, and rounding up the bill is plenty. Watch for the city tourist tax added to hotel bills, a few euros per person per night that recently increased. Small individually, but worth budgeting across a longer stay. Credit cards are accepted almost everywhere, though small bakeries, markets, and older bars may still prefer cash. So keep some euros on hand for exactly those situations. The La Boqueria market and neighborhood grocery stores are a great way to stretch a budget, assembling a picnic of bread, cheese, and jamin for a fraction of a restaurant meal. Consider a combined attraction pass or booking tickets directly online in advance. Both save money and let you skip the long ticket lines that eat into your day at the major sites. So when is the best time to go? Late spring, from May through June, is widely considered ideal, with warm, sunny days, comfortable evenings, and crowds that have not yet peaked. July and August are peak season, hot, humid, and crowded, with packed beaches, long attraction lines, and the highest hotel prices of the year across the whole city. September and early October are the other sweet spot, with warm water still perfect for swimming, thinning crowds, and pleasant temperatures ideal for walking the city all day. Winter is mild by European standards, rarely freezing, and while the beach is off the table, you will have the Gaudi sites and museums with a fraction of the summer crowds. Spring and fall shoulder seasons give you the best overall value, balancing decent weather against lower prices and shorter lines at the marquee attractions. If beach time is your priority, aim for June or September, when the Mediterranean is warm enough to enjoy, but the August wall of crowds has eased. La Merce, the city's biggest festival, takes over Barcelona in late September with street performances, human towers, and fireworks. A spectacular time to visit if you book well ahead. Whatever season you choose, book the Sagrada Familia and Park Guell tickets online in advance, since same-day entry frequently sells out regardless of the time of year. Barcelona rarely gets truly cold, but winter days can be gray and rainy, so pack a light rain layer even outside the summer months. Avoid arriving expecting a quiet city in August. Much of Spain takes holiday then, and some smaller family-run restaurants close, even as the tourist core stays packed. Book flights and hotels several months out for any summer or festival period visit, since demand for Barcelona rarely softens and last-minute prices climb quickly. On to the must-sees, starting with the Sagrada Familia, Gaudi's still unfinished basilica and the single most iconic building in the city, worth every minute of the advanced ticket booking it requires. Park Guell, also by Gaudi, offers whimsical mosaic terraces and sweeping views over the city and sea, a fairy tale hillside that rewards arriving early before the tour groups. Casa Batlló and La Pedrera, two more Gaudi masterpieces along the elegant Passeig de Gracia, showcase his dreamlike facades and rooftops and are highlights even from the street. The Gothic Quarter is a living museum in itself, a labyrinth of medieval alleys, hidden plazas, and the soaring Barcelona Cathedral, best explored simply by wandering without a fixed plan. La Rambla is the famous tree-lined pedestrian boulevard slicing through the center, worth one stroll for the atmosphere, though it is where you should be most alert to pickpockets. The La Boqueria market just off La Rambla is a feast for the senses, stalls of fruit, seafood, and jamun, and a perfect spot for a cheap, memorable lunch at the counter. Montjuic Hill delivers gardens, museums, the Magic Fountain Light Show, and panoramic views easily reached by cable car and an ideal way to spend a slower afternoon above the city. Picasso Museum in Elborn houses one of the world's most important collections of the artist's early work, set inside a series of beautiful medieval palaces. Camp Nou, the legendary home of FC Barcelona, draws football fans from around the world for stadium tours, and the club museum, even outside of match days. Barceloneta Beach lets you cap a day of sightseeing with a swim and a seafood paella by the water, a rare luxury for a major European city center. And if you have an extra half day, the medieval mountaintop monastery of Montserrat, an hour outside the city, delivers dramatic serrated peaks and one of Catalonia's most sacred sites. The Magic Fountain of Montjuic puts on a free evening show of water, light, and music on select nights. A genuinely lovely and budget-friendly way to cap off a day of sightseeing. For a quieter dose of Gaudi, the Hospital de Sant Pau nearby rivals his more famous works in beauty, but draws a fraction of the crowds, a favorite among repeat visitors. Quick word on culture and etiquette, starting with the fact that Barcelona is Catalan, and locals take real pride in a language and identity distinct from the rest of Spain. Learning a couple of Catalan words like bon dia for good morning and gracias for thank you goes a long way, though Spanish and English are widely understood everywhere. Meal times run later than many visitors expect. Lunch starts around 2 and dinner rarely before 9, with many kitchens closed entirely in the hours between. Tapas culture is meant for sharing and lingering. Order several small plates for the table, and remember that rushing through a meal is considered strange rather than efficient here. Vermouth, or Farel Vermouth, is a beloved Sunday midday tradition. A glass of vermouth with a small snack before lunch. And joining in is a lovely way to eat like a local. Tipping is not expected the way it is in the United States, since service is included in the bill, though rounding up or leaving small change for good service is always appreciated. Greet shopkeepers and waiters with a simple hola or bon dia before asking for anything. It is considered basic courtesy and genuinely changes how warmly you are treated. When visiting churches like the Cathedral or Santa Maria del Mar, dress modestly, covering shoulders and knees, since these remain active places of worship, not just tourist attractions. Coffee culture is unhurried. Ordering a café amblet to sip slowly at a sidewalk table is completely normal, and no one will rush you to free up your seat. Nightlife starts far later than most visitors expect. Dinner blends into drinks, and locals often do not reach the clubs until well after midnight, especially on weekends. And be aware that anti-tourism sentiment has grown in parts of the city, so being a respectful, low-key visitor, keeping noise down in residential streets genuinely matters to locals. Finally, the mistakes first-timers keep making. Number 1 is showing up to the Sagrada Familia or Park Guell without a ticket. Both routinely sell out, and you can lose a whole afternoon to closed doors. Number 2 is spending all your time on Las Ramblas, the one strip locals actively avoid, when the Gothic Quarter, Elborn, and Gracia just steps away are far more rewarding. Number 3 is underestimating the pickpockets. treating warnings as exaggeration until a phone vanishes on the metro, when a zipped bag worn in front would have prevented it. Number 4 is showing up to dinner at 6 or 7, expecting a full restaurant. Most kitchens simply are not open yet at that hour outside the tourist traps. Number 5 is eating at the restaurants with photo menus and hawkers right on La Rambla. They charge more for worse food than the excellent spots a few streets inland. Number 6 is trying to cram every Gaudi site, museum, and day trip into a 2 or 3 day visit. Barcelona rewards a slower pace and a bit of aimless wandering. Number 7 is forgetting to validate the culture of late nights. Planning a packed early morning after a night out here leaves many visitors exhausted and cranky. Number 8 is skipping a day trip entirely, when Montserrat, Girona, and the beach town of Sitges are all easy, spectacular half-day escapes by train. Number 9 is exchanging currency at the airport out of convenience, when a no foreign transaction fee card or a city center ATM gives you a far better rate. And number 10 is not booking accommodation early for summer or festival dates. Barcelona fills up fast, and the best value central rooms disappear months in advance. Avoid these, and you sidestep the exact frustrations that turn a first Barcelona trip from magical into merely stressful. So who is Barcelona actually best for? If you love architecture and art, few cities on earth deliver as concentrated a hit, with Gaudi's masterpieces scattered across walkable neighborhoods. Beach lovers get a rare combination here, a world-class city where you can tour medieval streets in the morning and swim in the Mediterranean the same afternoon. Food and wine lovers are spoiled between the tapas bars, the markets, the vermouth tradition, and easy access to Catalan wine country just outside the city. Couples and honeymooners find genuine romance in the Gothic quarter's candlelit alleys, the sunset views from Montjuïc, and long lingering seaside dinners. Families do well too, with the beach, the parks, the aquarium, and enough variety to keep older kids engaged between the historic sites. Nightlife seekers and younger travelers gravitate here for good reason. The beach clubs, the late dinners, and a party scene that genuinely runs until sunrise. Solo travelers find an easy rhythm, with a walkable center, excellent public transit, and a tapas culture that makes eating alone feel completely natural. And if this is your first trip to Europe, Barcelona is one of the most complete, forgiving introductions on the continent. Iconic sites, easy logistics, beach, and food, all in one compact city. Repeat visitors keep coming back because a single trip is never enough. Between the Gaudi sites, the neighborhoods, the beaches, and the day trips, there is always another layer of the city left to discover. The only travelers who tend to leave underwhelmed are those chasing peace and quiet, since Barcelona is a lively, crowded, energetic city, and that intensity is exactly the point for everyone else. Wherever you land on that list, plan for a few unstructured hours to simply wander, because Barcelona's greatest pleasure is often the plaza, cafe, or alley you stumble into with no plan at all. That is everything you need to know before visiting Barcelona in 2026, from entry requirements to knowing what to skip. Which part of the trip are you most excited for? The Sagrada Familia, Park Guell, or the beaches of Barceloneta? Tell us in the comments below. If this guide helped you plan your trip, please like and subscribe for more honest, in-depth travel guides from our small channel. Gracias for watching, and aloha from Kahana Designs. Until next time, safe travels and sweet dreams.